Good morning, everybody. It is Tranquil Tuesday. I hope you had a magical Monday. Of course, I'm going to try and find my video feed again. Hopefully I'm on the right one. Too funny. All right. There we are. All right. So, I'm not technically doing a card this morning. You can make it into a card, but I'm going to do a snowman because it is winter. And I think we all think of snowmen when it's the winter. You can always make it a card, just, maybe not a Christmas card. I did get my cards done. You'll be happy to know. Not that any of you lost any sleep over wondering if I got my cards done. Good morning, Aunt Judy. Okay, so I was thinking a snowman, but not like the typical snowman, just kind of like his head, not really, just, I don't know, kind of floating, I guess. It'll be okay, I promise. So I encourage you to sit back, get your cup of tea, and I changed my view just a itty bit again. I don't know where my pencil went. I lost my pencil. There it is. Okay, I'm still gonna just use this little piece of cardstock because it's just easier for me, and then if you want, you can make it bigger. Okay, so let's get started with our Tranquil Tuesday. All right, let's see how this view is. Oops, it kind of fell a little bit. There we go. Okay. Because it helps me to be able to have it a little bit closer to me. It's just easier. So, okay, I think that looks pretty good. Okie doke. Anyway, so I have my pencil, my handy dandy little pencil. And I was thinking something, I kind of sketched him out this morning. Kind of like for the snowman, he has his little snowman head. And then he has a hat that it's an older hat. So I think we should make it more, I don't know, kind of more old, more like bendy, pliable. Maybe that's the word, pliable. I don't know. Anyway, we're gonna make it look a little old. And he'll have this will be the ribbon, and things will kind of, like this is the brim of his hat. And then the ribbon is kind of really old. And his hat is really misshapen because it's, like I said, it's old. So kind of, it's not like the typical, snowman top hat because, it's all brand new. And this one's old. We like the old thought. Something maybe kind of like that. Okay, and he's gonna be looking this direction. So that would be his nose. And he's sad. Because he's cold. And he'll have a scarf that comes and covers his mouth. Because we're not going to give him an actual mouth. I mean, it'll make us feel like, he's living in our world. Oh, I crack myself up sometimes. And it's a super cold, chilly day. Maybe we will give him a little bit of a impression of a body. Just a button. I don't want it to go all the way down. Okay, and then, yeah, I like that. We'll give him a couple little holly. There we go. Perfect. Okay, then we'll have my handy dandy Sharpie marker. And we'll just start to, I think I might need to get me, oh, there it goes. I was thinking for a second that my marker wasn't going to work. Remember, this is the hardest part too. So, you know, once you get it all drawn, coloring, anybody can do that. You could even, if you didn't want to do watercolors, that's okay. Go get a crayon or markers. Some people like markers. I like markers. I just don't use them very often. I'm going to be a little different. I'm going to put a couple more beads there. Berries, not beads. Sorry, I'm not talking a whole lot this morning. It's a little bit of an adjustment having people home from vacation. My daughter's living with us while she works in Elkhart. So my sleeping habits are a little different. I mean, it's a good different. I'm happy, but it's still different. So I've been awake a lot longer than I normally have been. You know, you'd think, oh yeah, you can sleep in. How many of you, you know, when you can sleep in, your body's just like, no, we're not doing that because you want us to. Mine does it to me all the time. All scarves should have the little fringes. I think he's pretty cute. Okay, let's use our handy dandy pink little eraser. Besides, this is very tranquil. It's very calming and soothing to me. I'm hoping that it's that way with you. That you just, you know, you just kind of start to get absorbed in your drawing or your painting or your coloring or whatever words you like to use. You know, it's supposed to bring you peace. So if you don't talk, it's okay. It is doing its job if you just totally get immersed in what you're doing. That is the whole goal. All right, so now that I have that, I've missed a couple spots. Either that or whatever that is isn't coming off. Maybe I had something on my hands. Oh, he is so cute. Okay, since he's sad, I think what I want to do is the background in kind of a grayish black color. And how I'm going to accomplish that is actually, because I want it pretty light around, well, he's a snowman, but anyway, I'm going to add some water. This is just water on my brush. I'm just putting a little bit around him. Okay. And then I'll take just a small amount. I'm not going to try and work in the, like a lot of times you see me really working in the paint and trying to get lots of pigment onto there. I don't want that much. So this is black, but because I have lots of water on my brush, it's going to kind of give the illusion of a grayish color. Okay. And then as you get closer, it gets a lot lighter as you keep watering it down. But as I get closer, there's a lot of water, so it just kind of flows where the water is. And I'm going to go ahead and put some down here because he's not, I don't really want him super white. Okay. Okay, and then I'm going to use just a regular paper towel, kind of dry this off a little. Okay, and then when you do that, it just blends in with the rest of the card and it's perfect. And I don't know if you can see it, but there is a small amount of gray right here, a line. So all I'll do is take a wet paintbrush and gently work that color back out and then dry it off. And then it blends right back out. No worries. Okay, we are not stressing. We are just tranquil and hanging out together. I have a smaller, a medium size. I just have to be able to reach it. Okay. So I have this paintbrush. This one is a 6. Okay. So remember, this one's an 8. This one's a 6. And this one is a 2. See the difference here? How about we do it this way? Okay. So I'm going to go with this middle one, this number 6. Because I love the round because it's nice and pointy. See how it's pointy? And then I can get into little cracks and crevices and it works perfect. I'm sorry for all the noise. All right. So I want to kind of create, I want to get a little bit more black on here because here I want it to have more darkness. Okay. Because this is the top, so he's a little more, it's darker up there. And then probably these little spaces here where it goes, because this is the inside of his hat, they'll be a little darker. Okay. All right, and then add a little water to my brush so it's more of a gray, because remember, the darkest part gets more pigment. Okay, so all I'm going to do is make this gray first. Because you can always go back in and add more depth, more color, and have fun with it. Okay, so now that I have that and it's all still very wet, I'm going to add a little more depth where I want it. We'll add a little more darkness here. Okay, now to get these lines to go away, I'll wash my brush and mostly dry it off. I'll still leave some water on it because I want it to look old. So I just want to soften these edges and then smooth them back out. Okay, so you still want darkness in areas. That's how you create the depth. And then you can always go back in and add a little more darkness here and there. Just have fun with it. Remember, this is relaxing. And then here's a little puddle, so I'll just dry my brush and pick that up. Ta-da! Okay, see how it starts to look nice and old and weathered? That's our goal. All right, yay! I'm just adding a little drop of water to a couple of these because I don't really know what I want. I do know we need orange for his nose. And then I'm going to run just a small amount of this brown because I don't want like a bright, bright, bright orange. Okay, it can be bright in spots, but I would still tone it down a little bit with some brown. Just, you know, bringing your characters to life really is all about how you shade them. And like, I want him to be white, but the shadows on a snowman would probably be more on the bluish side. So I'm going to take a little bit of blue and where I think there's shadows. So his hat would kind of cause a shadow. He'd probably have a shadow over here, be a little bit here, down and under here. Anywhere that something is casting a shadow, just kind of close your eyes and think, you know, well, where are shadows when I'm wearing something? And then I'll wash my brush and dry it off mostly so that I can soften this edge a little bit so it's not a hard line. And then there'd be some underneath his carrot nose, maybe a little here. See how cute he looks? All right, and then I'm gonna give him a reddish scarf. I'm gonna actually add some brown because I want him to have an older scarf. So at first I'll just come in and put some red. Well, this is kind of red with some brown. Okay. And then I'll take some red. Kind of put that in here. If you can see, I'm leaving some white. It's okay because we're going to blend. We're going to add in some water. Right now I'm just trying to get a good blend of color. So then I washed my brush and it has a little bit of water in it. And then I'm just going to come in here and get these to blend together. Okay, this has too much water, so I'll just dry my paintbrush and go in and pick it up. This has quite a bit of water here too, so I'll just pick some up and then dry it off. And it's nice because it gives it a different effect. Okay, so then I'll come over here and do the same exact thing. I'm going to put water here to blend it out to the edges. And then I'm going to dry my brush and go in and take this extra water out. Ta-da! Super simple. Same down here. Add water to help it to blend to the edges. Okay, and then dry it off and then soak up some of this water. Okay, this isn't as nice as that, so all I'm going to do is add some more water and move it around to take some of this off. There, see how you can do that? Super simple. And just dry your brush and pull some of that back up. Okay, and then I want to add just a hint of a more, like up in here how I have like really dark. Okay, so I'm just going to add a little brownish to my color. And anywhere like it would be darker. Okay, so like underneath down here, this would be a little darker. This would be a fold, so this might have a little darkness going through it. You know, maybe there's some folds going on in here. Okay, and then I'll wash my brush and really gently on the edges come in here and smooth these out, just a hint. Hardly any. It'd be a little darker here, sorry. Ta-da! He's so cute! Okay, then we're gonna put the berries in. And because this is a bigger brush, but it has this super small, super small tip, you can easily get these in here. think we'll do a shade of green. And this is a super watered down, okay? I don't want this dark. And then I can use a darker green up here. Ta-da! Ooh, I like him. He's adorable. If you have acrylic paint, you could always put a little sparkle in his eye, but we kind of want him to look pretty sad, so I don't think I'm going to put a sparkle. I am going to fix his eyes. And then because I've created folds here, I'm just going to stick in just a little bit of some black lines to really emphasize that. And then maybe some little lines down there. So when you go back in, you can always fix stuff. Ta-da! I love him. There we go. Isn't he cute? Perfect. All right. That was quick and simple, painless. Mostly painless. Okay. I hope you have enjoyed this. What are you painting on cardstock? This is cardstock that I don't even remember where I bought it. I'm sorry. I'm sure Amazon has it. It's 120-pound paper. You can get it, the thicker it is, the more water it can take. If you can't use, I don't have any, you can't just use you can't just use printer paper. You can't even really use sketch paper. You need to use watercolor paper or mixed media paper. So this is 120 pounds, and you can hear how thick it is compared to a piece of, like this is printer paper. This is cardstock. It doesn't like to, not cardstock. This is watercolor paper. You can use cardstock, but you have to be careful how much water you use. Oh my goodness, I'm so sorry. I would not use it because it does buckle and fold. I used to have a piece here that I showed you, and it gets super wavy. So you really, to do these, you need watercolor paper. 120 pound is what I use. The next time I buy it, I'm actually going to buy 190 pounds just because this is still water. This is the watercolor I just did, and see how it bows just a itty bit. So the heavier the paper, the more it won't bend with the water. You can always iron the back of it if you need to, but it doesn't always work. Let me think. Yes, my watercolors are just some like 99-cent crazy thing, except for my iridescent ones that I love. And those are on Amazon, and they were like $46. Let's see. Yeah, I think that's it. So, good morning, everybody. Good morning, Michelle. So anyway, here's my cute little snowman. Isn't he cute? I love him. And so I wanted to tell you, thank you for painting with me this morning. I will have Whimsical Wednesday tomorrow at 8:05-ish. I noticed today it was like 8:09. So anyway, so I'm sorry about that. You could make this into a card. It would be a cute, adorable card. Maybe just a I'm thinking of you card through the winter. Send a little happy mail because it gets a little sad during the winter with all of the no sun and stuff like that. I do love the beautiful snow though. So anyway, I encourage you to go out and make it a great day, and I will see you all tomorrow, and thanks. So God bless. Bye-bye.